All right, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is Dave Chappelle, closing joke coming from his new special, The Dreamer. Let's go and check it out, guys.
Okay. Before I did Killing Them Softly, when I was 22, HBO gave me the biggest opportunity of my life at that time. They gave me a half-hour special, but this was not like a special, you know what I mean? It was like It was generic. It didn't even have a title. It was just Dave Chappelle. And I shot it in San Francisco at a place called Broadway Studios, which is on the second floor of a building. And beneath Broadway Studios is a nightclub. And the special was only supposed to be 30 minutes. And I got ready, I practiced, I did all the shit I was supposed to do. And the night that I taped, 20 minutes into my 30-minute set, I'll never forget this, music started blasting from the nightclub underneath. You could hear it real loud, and it f***ed my whole show up, and I was devastated. I was a young man. I really believed in what I was doing, and I thought that my dream had been killed. So when I got off stage, I ran down the steps to the alley behind Broadway Studios and where the control trucks are parked, and I kicked that motherfucking door open, and I started yelling at all the producers. I was nobody in show business, just a guy that believed in myself. I said, man, you fucked everything up. That fucking music, what the fuck were you thinking? And there was a guy who was a big-time producer, I ain't saying no names, and he stood up, and he said, hey, kid, sit the fuck down. He said, we didn't ruin anything.
It wasn't them.
He said, we made a deal with that nightclub to not play music, and they didn't honor the deal. And I said, who didn't honor the deal? And he pointed to a guy. I'll never forget it. It was an old white man sitting in the Ford Taurus by himself.
Okay.
And he said, that guy right there. And I didn't waste no time or ask no questions. I went to that Ford Taurus, and I beat on that window, and I said, open the door, motherfucker, I want to talk to you. And that old man looked at me for 1 second and wisely drove the fuck off.
Right, mandatory. Mandatory.
And left me in the alley cussing at anybody who would listen. And 2 minutes later, literally 120 seconds later, couldn't have been any more than that, the doors of the kitchen in the alley of that nightclub underneath Broadway Studios flung open. And that old man was standing there, that same old man with reinforcements. He had 2 big goons with him, and he looked at me, and he was calm as a cucumber. He said, you, come here. I want to talk to you.
All right, bro, now it's your time to run.
I didn't know anything about the streets at this age.
I bet.
I found out later in my life that these men were Russian mobsters.
Oh.
And I don't know what you guys know about the Russian
Right, run.
mob, but these are the that killed Denzel in Training Day. And all the producers knew what I was up against. They said, Dave, do not go in there. And I said, fuck y'all. And I walked right into that kitchen, and they closed the doors behind me, and it got dark as fuck in there. And I knew, I'm not dumb, I knew I was in a bad situation. You have to understand, I believed in what I was doing, and I didn't give a fuck. Just kept cussing at these motherfuckers, telling them how they ruined my life. And that old man couldn't believe that I was talking all this shit. And as soon as I took a breath, he stopped me gently. He said, hey, kid, listen. Your friends lied to you. He said, we made a deal.
Right.
But your friends never paid me. And when he said that, I realized I was locked in the kitchen.
Right.
I realized,
bro, careful who you trust.
He was telling the truth, which would make me wrong. And the very moment that I realized I was wrong, for the first time, I was afraid. You see, it's a funny thing if you believe you're absolutely right. You can get drunk off the feeling of how right you are. That's why gay people are so mean.
What happened? What? I don't understand. Bro, where did that come from?
But I didn't buckle. You guys would have been very proud of me. I was scared, but I didn't buckle. I said, well then, sir, I owe you an apology. But I believe that no matter what reason that music was playing, it ruined my life.
It ruined your
And
life.
that old man looked at me with sympathy in his eyes. And he walked over to me and he gently placed his hand on my cheek, which I gotta tell you, is a very emasculating thing to do.
Absolutely.
I was
Don't
standing
do
there
that,
looking at
guys.
his hand on my cheek like and he said, "You are a real man." And he tapped me on my cheek. Real soft.
Supple.
Just like that.
Right.
Doors opened back up. The light from the alley flooded into the kitchen. And I just walked out alive. I lived to fight another day.
I mean, you didn't do much fighting.
And in that moment, I learned one of the most valuable lessons of my life. And I
Go ahead.
have to share it with you.
Teach us.
And that lesson is this. In your life, in any given moment, the strongest dream in that moment wins that moment. I am a very powerful
Okay.
dreamer.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not lying.
Okay. Hey, listen, I thought that was about to go off the rails, but I'm glad it didn't.
I dreamed tonight, this very night, as a 14-year-old boy, and I am living it as a 50-year-old man. My dreams are very strong. Today, I walked all around Washington. I used to be poor in this city, and all day people just said, hey, Dave, like they knew me personally, and I felt like I knew them. And I say to myself, my God, Dave, what a powerful dream. But then sometimes,
Oh, here we go. Let's go.
sometimes I feel regular.
That's a good thing.
I feel like myself.
Right.
Maybe I'll smoke some, be in some nightclub and feel shy.
Right.
But I'll look across a nightclub and I'll see some guy that no one's ever heard of. But this worked all week and got bottle service. And this bitch is bringing Moet with sparklers to him. And I picture in my mind he's Persian. He's doing some kind of weird Persian dance. And he got 6 bitches at his table because he got so much liquor. And they all call him saying, go Cena, go Cena. And I'll be looking across the room like, oh my God, I'm in that guy's dream.
Right. You are. In
I
fact,
can hear him telling his friends, hey, how was the club last night? Man, that shit was fantastic. I had bottle service. I seen Dave Chappelle across the club looking at me like, ooh, who is that? And that's the trick to life.
Okay.
You have to be wise enough to know when you were living in your dream. And you have to be humble enough to accept when you're in someone else's. That's why,
Okay.
that's why I don't judge between Will Smith and Chris Rock. Because you guys look at them as big ideas, but I look at them as fellow dreamers. I can't judge between them because I see myself in both of them. I am Will Smith. I am the man that cannot take it anymore and will slap the shit out of the next person that says a crossword to me or somebody that I love. And I am Chris Rock. I am the man that can get slapped in front of the whole world and keep my composure so I don't f anything up.
I mean, who looked more powerful in that instance? Chris Rock.
That is what men do. Men make boundaries. Men enforce boundaries. And men test boundaries. And no man tests more boundaries than a trans man.
Guys, I think there's something I'm missing. See, listen, so firstly, I have not seen this at all, right? So I'm thinking this is some type of motivational speech. It feels like one. It feels super motivational, but he just keeps dropping very specific statements. Maybe I should probably check this whole thing out, guys. I think it's mandatory, all right? Or suggest very specific jokes from this set I should be checking out at least, because something tells me this probably went off the rails multiple times. Yeah. Absolutely. Bro, what? Is that it? Something weird is happening on the screen here. Let's go.
Give them my utmost respect. When I see a fellow dreamer, I give them my utmost respect. Even if I don't understand what their dream is. I know a dreamer when I see one. And I've met many powerful dreamers in my life. None more powerful than a man who calls himself Little Nas X. I met this at a party. I had no idea who he was. But the minute he walked in that party, I knew I was in his dream. Everybody in the party was another dreamer. Everyone was famous.
Absolutely.
But when that walked in, he was dressed like C-3PO. He was shining. And everyone was like, oh my God, there he is. That's Lil Nas X. I didn't know who he was. And for some reason, out of all them dreamers, he walked right up to me.
You knew who he was. All right. You may not have recognized him, but trust me, you knew somehow in proximity. You knew.
And he said, I tried to get you in my video. I didn't know what the f*** was talking about. I said, what? I said, what? What video? And he just looked at me like, you know what video, and walked away.
You see?
And I watched him walk away. I said, man, this was having a very powerful dream. You know what it reminded me of?
Right.
It reminded me of when we was in grade school. Remember in grade school, the teacher would ask everybody what they want to be? Timmy, what do you want to be when you grow up? And Timmy acted like he had an idea. He'd stand up, he'd say, I want to be a fireman. And the teacher would say, Timmy, that is a beautiful dream. But Timmy didn't mean it. Timmy said he wanted to be a fireman because deep down, Timmy's attracted to fire. And by the time he's 14 years old, this is a full-blown pyromaniac playing with kerosene and matches like a goddamn expert. And then one night he goes downtown with his buddies, fucking around with fire, and burns a warehouse down. And he doesn't know it, but there's 13 migrant workers from El Salvador, and in that motherfucker, they get trapped, and then they die in the fire. Isn't that a tragedy?
Yes.
It was an accident. He's only 14 years old, but he's black. So they try him as an adult.
Okay.
Timmy ends up spending the rest of his life in jail. Dream deferred. Burp, burp.
Oh, that's not funny, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
What about you, Billy? Billy, what do you want to be when you grow up? And Billy stands up and he says, I want to be president of the United States. And the teacher says, oh my God, Billy, that is a wonderful dream. And Billy means that shit. Billy does everything right. That motherfucker gets his grades up. He joins student government. He even does extracurricular activities like show choir just to make his resume look good. He's on track to be president, but junior year he wipes. When he's 16, he gets his girlfriend pregnant.
Okay.
And has to drop out of high school to make ends meet. But lucky for him, the local Walmart's hiring. By the time he's 20 years old, this motherfucker makes assistant manager at Walmart. He's the youngest one in the district. He says, oh my God, if I can keep this up for 4 more years, I could be a manager. And if I can keep this up for 6 more years after that, I could even be a regional manager and have as many as 3 Walmarts under my control. Okay. He's a big picture guy.
Right.
He sees where this path is going.
Right.
So he kills himself.
Oh. This is crazy, guys. But this is wild.
Well, what about you? What do you want to be when you grow up? I don't want to say. Because I don't want the other kids to laugh at me.
Oh, no.
Who cares if they laugh?
Okay,
your dream is yours.
Give it to me.
Own your dream so they can come true. Say it loud and proud. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Don't say it.
Little Nas X. And that stood up in front of the whole class.
Yeah.
I want to be the gayest that ever lived. I want to do a music video and slide down a stripper pole all the way to the depths of hell and suck the devil's dick at 10 o'clock on BET while all the kids are awake and can see me. Shockingly, that was the only dream that worked out.
Oh my. Yeah.
That's why I'm here tonight
Go ahead.
in the city where I built the dreams that I live. Because I wanted to tell you all that they came true. And I wanted to thank you all for making the man that I am today. Yes, I am living a very powerful dream. Every time I come to this city and I stand in front of you, I realize that, my God, man, this is not my dream at all. It's yours. And I am honored to be in it. Thank you very much, Washington, D.C.
All right.
I'll see you next time.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, dudes. All right, so it tells me, based off of a couple of the lines here, that most likely the theme of this was absolutely dunking on, a very specific group that kind of, lives within this planet with us all, guys, right? All right. Listen, Dave Chappelle is hilarious. His timing is absolutely phenomenal. He absolutely is. Personally, I think one of the greatest comedians that exists currently. Are there people funnier than Dave Chappelle? I'm not sure. I'm just honestly not sure. It just comes down to him and Bill Burr for me, right? It just goes back and forth. Who's better today? Dave Chappelle is dropping something. Oh, probably Ricky Gervais also. I'll add in Ricky Gervais also, but I do think that the best social commentary generally is going to come from Dave Chappelle. This ending monologue, let's call it, was great. Funny at times. I mean, he's telling a story of what it's like to be someone who dreams about being better than they actually are. I love that, right? I mean, everyone should honestly have that dream. Unfortunately, there were a couple of dreams that are going to be deferred, based off of, the two instances that we just learned about here, about the Walmart. That's wild. And the firefighter, that's also wild. They're two wild scenarios, right? Are we living within each other's dreams? Do we exist? Do you exist? I don't know. I don't see anyone but me right now, right? I have no idea. Maybe I'm talking to myself. Maybe I'm talking to myself and no one is actually here. That could be it also. Well, not here, but like no one is seeing this also with me. That could be that could be a thing also. You never know, right? Right? Who knows? Maybe this is all simulation. Okay, and this is just a server. The American server or the European server, and everyone else is just waiting for updates and patches, and all the terrible things that happens are generally glitches and things like that. Maybe. You never know, right? Potentially. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.